A Fernandina Beach man is accused of sexually assaulting a child under the age of 13. This is 60-year-old Bertram Way of Fernandina Beach. A judge has set his bond at $1 million. Tonight, we've learned investigators have found a second victim the same age as the first.
We've also been able to confirm that Way volunteered at the St. Peter's Episcopal Church, where investigators believe he worked with children. News4JAX reporter Eric Avanier broke this story last week. He's joining us live outside the Episcopal Diocese.
Yes, administrators here at the diocese have made it clear that they are not going to be talking to news media about Bertram Way. However, we were able to confirm through our law enforcement sources that Way worked as a volunteer for the St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Fernandina Beach more than a decade ago.
Last Monday, when we first reported the arrest of 60-year-old Bertram Way, who was accused of sexually assaulting a child under the age of 13 inside his Fernandina Beach home, all of his neighbors told us he was a well-known neighbor who previously worked as a youth counselor for St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Fernandina Beach. Investigators tell News4JAX they learned he actually volunteered for the church, but the diocese will not comment on what exactly he did as a volunteer. News4JAX crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson says given the nature of the crime, detectives will widen their investigation to include Way's volunteer work.
If it's with children, police are going to investigate his places of employment, who he had contact with. They're going to look for names, they're going to look for addresses, they're going to seek the cooperation of that particular entity, that business, whatever it is.
News4JAX has also learned the state attorney's office is filing an additional charge of sexual battery after detectives located a second victim this week. According to investigators, the second victim is also a child who is the same age as the first victim. Jefferson says because police had already announced last week that they expect to file additional charges, it was obvious they already had information to suggest there was more than one victim.
When you have children as victims, there's usually more than one. They're apprehensive about coming forward because they've either been threatened or they feel that they're at fault. For many reasons, they don't report it, but they get brave when they see that this has happened to somebody else.
In this case, the investigation began when the parent of the first victim discovered inappropriate text messages on the child's cell phone that police say came from Way.
Now, the father of one of those victims reached out to me over the phone earlier today and says that he is outraged over this and he believes that there are more victims who need to come forward. Meanwhile, Fernandina Beach police are asking anyone with information to please come forward because they believe this investigation is far from over. Reporting live, Eric Avanier, Channel 4, the local station.